Gerald Stroudsbury. Cornelius Stroudsbury. It's a wall of Stroudsburys.
The Stroudsbury lineage stretched back to the very founding of the university. There had been a Dean Stroudsbury at Gumboldt for over 150 years.
There won't be for much longer. The dean's retiring, and the only Stroudsbury left is Keith. And he's not exactly the academic type. No one on duty. A book thief's paradise. There's a note on the desk. That was weird. Hello? Mom? Mr. Stroudsbury? Anybody?
Jenny's words echoed through the library.
Something's not right here.
A mystery was unfolding.
Whatever it is, I'll get to the bottom of it.
Les Stroudsbury, Gumboldt's 21st and jolliest dean, smiled down at Jenny.
Looking a bit wonky today, Mr. Stroudsbury.
A pair of wires ran down the wall and disappeared behind the painting.
It's too high to reach. What are you hiding back there? The chandeliers that adorn this library are made from rare Arthurtonian quartz. Kindly donated by the Glatz Foundation.
The Glatz family was one of the oldest in town. They were the first to mine the valuable quartz deposits beneath Arthurton. And as such, they became incomparably wealthy.
And they sure like to let everyone know it. Laddertron 5000, the pinnacle of remote ladder and bookcase technology, kindly donated by the Glatz Foundation. Whoa! Dangerous!
The newly installed ladder system was prone to malfunction.
Should have kept the old wooden ladders. They never tried to electrocute me. I need to find a way to turn the power off.
Jenny gazed at the technological marvel of Laddertron 5000.
Seems pointless. It's not hard to move a ladder. Sometimes it feels like some unknown force is just trying to slow me down. No good. I don't think I'll be able to move the ladders while the electricity is on.
Jenny was notorious for climbing book carts.
It's the only way to reach the highest shelves. In fact, this could be useful.
But something else had caught her eye.
This table's a complete mess. Who would leave it like this? Illegible scribbles, intricate diagrams of giant machines, a worn copy of Aliens in Arthurton.
Jenny knew only one person could have been sitting here.
CJ. It's odd, though. He usually hides everything when he's finished. What's this?
A tattered piece of paper with a series of seemingly unrelated notes.
UFOs, shadow men, experiments on corpses.
It seemed that CJ was unraveling a mystery of his own.
Wait, there's something on the other side. Wow, a color map of Arthurton.
Jenny had never seen a town map with this level of detail before.
I can't believe CJ left this behind. That's so unlike him. He'd be terrified if anyone else found it. I'll keep it safe until I see him again. No secrets between friends, Mr. Strasberry.
Jenny stood on her tiptoes and delicately removed the priceless painting from the wall.
Oops. Aha! Precisely what I was hoping to find.
It was?
Let's see. Lights, bookcases, ladders. I'll cut the power and continue my investigation.
But Jenny knew better than to play with electricity, so she left it alone.
It's a simple switch, perfectly safe.
The eerie silence unnerved our tiny hero. But even worse was the dark. Jenny had always been terrified of the dark.
Just breathe. A great detective never succumbs to fear. Looks like that did the trick.
Jenny stopped in her tracks. The sign clearly read, "Wet floor, caution." Her path was blocked.
You're kidding me, right?
Trampling muddy feet over a perfectly clean floor? She was a maverick, not a monster.
There's something on that shelf, but I can't reach it. Rare books. Our most precious collections reside in this temperature-controlled room. Kindly donated by the Glatz Foundation. Yeah, we know.
The fallen remains of a bookcase blocked Jenny's path.
It looks like a bomb went off in here. It's too precarious to climb over. It's locked. No problem, I'll just pick it.
Jenny was skilled with a lockpick, having watched her mother demonstrate the process countless times.
But that was just for fun at home. This was the real world. You couldn't just go around picking other people's locks. That was a crime.
A great detective knows when to bend the rules. And the paperclip she has in her pocket. Mom always says, lockpicking is a subtle art. Move slowly and search for the sweet spot. Bingo.
It must have been a rush of blood that caused Jenny to act so irrationally. Regardless, she had picked the lock and felt strangely exhilarated. What treasures lay behind the door?
Oh, it's empty. Still, that book card could be useful. Something's blocking the ladder. There's something stuck in the track. Ipsa, Scientia, Potet. It's the Dean's ring! No wonder the ladders were malfunctioning. The ring must have caused a short circuit. I'll keep hold of this and return it to the Dean when I see him next. Whoa!
An empty library, a fallen bookcase, and now a broken balcony?
This mystery has all the hallmarks of foul play. They say words can't hurt you. In this case, I'd be inclined to disagree. Solid iron and oak, torn apart like a piece of bread. It would have taken some serious force to do this. Something bad happened here. This is feeling more and more like a crime scene.
And then Jenny saw it. Covered in a ripped curtain and surrounded by broken glass.
It is a crime scene!
You never forget the first time you see a dead body. It harrows the mind, terrifies the soul, scars you to your very core.
A dead body? No way! This is amazing!
Who lay under that curtain? Who had breathed their last breath? Who had shuffled off this mortal coil to meet their maker?
It could be anyone. I mean, it could be an escaped lunatic from the asylum. Or an axe-wielding maniac on the run from the cops. It could be...
It could be.
Mom? Oh no. Please, no.
No, you never forget the first time you see a dead body. Jenny knew it was wrong to disturb the crime scene.
But I have to know who's under here.
Slowly, she drew back the heavy cloth.
Please don't be my mom. Please don't be my mom. Dean Stroudsbury? Thank God. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Poor Mr. Stroudsbury. What happened to you?
Was this a terrible accident? Or worse?
Murder!
Her stomach churned. Seeing the Dean's lifeless face, his contorted frame, Jenny felt the urge to run, to get as far away from this horrific sight as possible. Jenny had longed for an adventure, for a real case.
I didn't expect it to be like this.
She gathered herself, took a deep breath, and began to search for clues.
He looks like he's been dead for weeks. His skin is pale and colorless, and there's a strange mark on his neck.
The Dean's planner lay open on today's date.
Perhaps I can retrace his steps and create a timeline of events. Looks like he completed all his chores for the day. I already knew the Dean was meeting Mom here, so where is she now? Meet JL. Could that be Mom? Where's Widow's Drop? I've never heard of it. Looks like he cancelled his meetings on Friday and rearranged lunch with Keith. Oh, poor Keith.
Jenny didn't know how she would break the news to him.
But I should be the one to tell him. Gossip spreads like wildfire in Arthurton. He sure was working hard on that speech. I'm sad he won't get to deliver it. The Hawk and the Weasel and other bedtime stories. It could be important. Then again, it could have just joined the Dean for the ride. It's a book about predicting the future. I suppose it didn't belong to Mr. Stroudsbury then. It's smashed, most likely from the fall. The hand stopped at 3:57 p.m. That gives me a potential time of death.
If Jenny had arrived just a few minutes earlier...
I might have been able to save him. A book about chance. What are the odds that this was an accident?
The Dean's hand was clamped shut around a small object.
That's strange. Rigor mortis usually takes hours to set in. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, Mr. Stroudsbury, but this could be a vital clue. Mom's ID card? But that means
Julie LeClue had definitely been here.
she could be the last person to have seen him alive.
She could be the killer.
Impossible. My mother's a forensic expert. She'd never leave such incriminating evidence behind.
But even the smartest criminals made mistakes. Jenny couldn't deny this looked bad for her mum.
If anyone else sees this, they'll jump to conclusions. They'll think my mom's a murderer. Unless...
A peculiar thought crossed Jenny's mind.
Unless... there's nothing to find.
Removing evidence from a crime scene was highly unethical.
So was planting evidence to frame an innocent person.
She had no proof of that.
I have to do something. My mom would kill me if she knew I was tampering with evidence. But I have to protect her. There are bits of glass and metal debris everywhere. He has burn marks on his hand. I think that's all the evidence I'm going to find here.
She took one last look at the Dean's lifeless body.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stroudsbury. I promise I'll get to the bottom of this.
Jenny knew she should leave and call the police. But how often did a case like this come along?
Never. There's more to this than meets the eye. Some of this evidence must be connected.
So she opened her journal to join the dots.
What was the apparent cause of death? No, that's not it. I'm missing something. It looks like the Dean was thrown from the balcony when he reached down to pick up his ring. which was stuck in the electrified ladder track. He grabbed the curtain, but it didn't slow him down. He landed on a bed of metal and glass debris. What is unusual about the Dean's death? That doesn't seem right. Dean has a strange mark on his neck. All the skin around his face is gray and gaunt. I've never seen anything like it before. He's holding my mom's ID card, which makes her the prime suspect. But why would she, or anyone, want to kill Dean Stroudsbury?
Jenny suspected foul play, but what was the motive? Had she missed something?
The watch! The Dean's watch stopped at 3:57 p.m. When I came into the library, the clock tower rang 4 times. The library only has one exit, and I haven't seen anyone but the Dean since I got here.
Which meant, if the Dean was murdered...
The killer must still be here! He's getting away!
Jenny could hear police sirens in the distance.
Someone must have tipped them off. I'll catch the murderer and keep him busy until the cops arrive.
Chasing after murderers was hardly the job of a little girl.
Hey you! Stop!
Despite surviving her fall without so much as a broken bone, Jenny couldn't help but feel she had failed. As the sirens grew louder, she knew it would only be a matter of time before the sheriff arrived, and then she'd have to explain why she hadn't called for help. But the worst feeling of all was that she had let the killer escape. As she drifted slowly into unconsciousness, Jenny heard a familiar voice, concerned, gentle, soothing.
Jenny? Oh, Jenny, what have you done?
Mom?
Freeze! You're under arrest!
What have I done? I killed him! This is all wrong. Murder in Arthurton?
This is not an appropriate story for Jenny LeClue. Poor Dean Stroudsbury. What was I thinking? I've gone too far. Perhaps I should take a break. Come on, Rufus, let's go for a walk. Clear our heads and work off some of this jam.
Why were you there?
It's a library. I was looking for a book.
What book were you expecting to find by climbing out the window?
I heard a noise. I thought it was the killer. When do I get to talk to my mom?
Did you disturb the crime scene?
Of course not. Now let me speak to my mom. Keith! Please, look at me. Keith, wait! horrible nightmare. Dean Stroudsbury was dead. My mom was in jail. Keith told me he never wanted to see me again. And worst of all, I was surrounded by an evil army of giant teddy bears.
Unfortunately, it was all true, including the teddy bears.
My eyes! There's something wrong with them! Everything's pink!
But her eyes were fine. It was the room that was pink. Pink cuddly toys. Pink furniture. Pink clothes. And a hand-drawn homage to teenage heartthrob Pelvis Cressley. Covered in pink hearts. Everything a teenage girl could dream of.
It looks like a marshmallow exploded.
It was at this point Jenny remembered where she was.
I shouldn't be here. What happened? And what is that terrible music? I can't think straight with that racket playing. These aren't my clothes. And where's my journal?
That wasn't the only thing missing.
The Dean's ring! It was in my pocket. You're the fan that I love.
Ah yes, the eagerly awaited follow-up to the smash hit. Even though I'm a big star and you're just a fan, perhaps someday we could be together.
Ugh, who buys this crap? Huh? Hushed whispers in the hallway? I should investigate. It's locked from the outside. Who would trap a child in this nightmarish hellscape?
Jenny peeped through the tiny keyhole. As her eyes adjusted to the light, she recognized the substantial frame of Winston LeClue. Arthurton's long-standing sheriff and Jenny's.
Granddad!
Jenny's relationship with her grandfather was contentious, to say the least. He was a stern and humorless man who placed honor, tradition, and the law above all else.
Sometimes even family.
But what was he doing here?
And who is he talking to?
Florence and Richard Glatz were the wealthiest couple in town, and hugely influential. Their company, Glatz Mining and Supply Corps, was the oldest in Arthurton. While Richard may have been the head of the business, everyone knew that Florence wore the pants. Exceptionally charming and generous, she always had a smile on her face.
Which is why I don't trust her one bit.
Being careful not to make a sound, Jenny leaned in and listened.
With everything going on, I don't have time to watch her.
It's no trouble at all, really, Winston. She can stay for as long as she likes. The girls are great friends. I only hope she feels better soon. That was quite the scene she made at the funeral.
She should have left the boy alone.
Really, Winston, this whole situation must be unbearably traumatic for the poor girl. Her mother in jail, and what she saw in the library. One shudders at the thought. And all this barely a year after what happened to Henry.
She'll be fine. Just keep an eye on her. She can be a real handful.
Oh, don't worry, I've planned everything. Pony rides, afternoon tea, and tomorrow, we're going dress shopping. Oh, that reminds me. I have something for you.
Dress shopping. First they locked me up, now they want to torture me? I need to get out of here. Fast.
But her curiosity was piqued. She had to know what Mrs. Glatz had gone to fetch, and so she waited. The duty of sheriff had been Winston's birthright, passed from father to son for generations. Of course, that tradition would now end with him, but he preferred not to think about that. Nathaniel Glatz stared disapprovingly back at Jenny.
Creepy old man.
Actually, this was the man who saved Arthurton. When the quartz mines began to run dry, it was his research into the unique properties of the crystals that secured the future prosperity of the town and the company. When Thalladius T. Pumberbitten discovered the first quartz seam lining the Great Mountains, little did he know the impact it would have on the future of the town.
Little did he know the Glatz family would muscle in and take over the whole operation.
Nowadays, it was hard to go anywhere in town without seeing something made from it.
Huh? Where did he go?
Winston, what are you doing down there?
Thought I heard something.
Really? A man of your age spying on teenage girls? I've told you already, she won't be going anywhere.
It was probably just Jenny's imagination, but those words felt oddly
sinister.
Here.
Why does Mrs. Glatz have official police documents?
Satisfied?
How is Julie?
She's in the safest place, behind bars.
Surely they don't believe she's guilty.
I don't envy you, Winston. It must be hard to stay impartial. If the poor dear would just confess, it would make things much easier.
I have everything under control.
Of course you do, dear. No one doubts your loyalty to Arthurton. We must continue to look out for each other, now more than ever.
Sheriff, are you receiving?
Go ahead.
It's the LeClue house, sir. We found something.
I'll be right there. Over.
It sounds like you've got important things to take care of.
Yes. Well, good night, Florence.
Good night, Winston.
Don't let her out of your sight. She is a LeClue, after all.
I'm sure we'll manage.
Jenny couldn't believe what she'd just heard.
Everyone thinks my mom's a murderer.
Thankfully, her mother's fate was in safe hands. The fine people of the Arthurton Police Department.
Oh God! She's gonna rot in jail.
Jenny could leave the case to them and enjoy a fun week of pony rides and shopping sprees.
No.
No?
Mom always says a great detective leaves nothing to chance. I have to do something.
But she was just a kid. What could she possibly do?
This is my chance. The case of a lifetime. My mom needs me, and I won't let her down. I'm gonna find my stuff and get out of here.
And just like that, a great adventure began.
All the dangly bits are swaying. Strange. It's not windy in here. Best in show, horse ballet. First prize, advanced table etiquette? There's one here for best smile. Seriously?
The sun was setting behind the great mountains of Arthurton, cradling the town in a warm red embrace.
I slept the whole day away? I have to get out of here and make up for lost time. Pushed from the balcony? That's not what happened. And no mention of electrocution. Mom wasn't covered in blood. That's a lie.
Jenny thought of her poor mother, locked away in a jail cell.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll prove you didn't do it as soon as I get out of here. I don't remember any of this. I bet that kid's in a lot of trouble. Either this is shoddy reporting, or someone is trying to cover up what really happened. My mom's still in jail, so the police must not think this was an accident.
And if it wasn't an accident,
The
then...
real killer is still out there. A heart-shaped mirror for the lady who loves herself. Ouch! That's hot! I'm not touching it. I'll burn myself. They're too hot to touch while the lights are on. There's something strange about this mirror. This requires further investigation. They're too hot to touch while the lights are on. Out of me, pig. I've never seen so many clothes. Maybe mine are in here somewhere. Well, my clothes definitely aren't here. They'd be easy to spot amongst all the sequins and ribbons. I don't have my detective gear to pick the lock. Besides, I can't just walk out in front of Mrs. Glatz. Seriously, who has windows this big?
Below, Lake Nowhere stretched out as far as the eye could see. In the distance, Jenny could just make out the great lighthouse on Skull Island.
It's foggy out there tonight. They're too hot to touch while the lights are on. Nothing happened. I thought I was onto something. I feel like I've seen that heart shape somewhere else in this room. This family's disposable income is outrageous. I always knew they were hiding something. I bet there are all kinds of horrific secrets lurking up there. dusty old attic.
Dozens of old boxes covered in dust and cobwebs, filled with toys, school projects, and old trophies.
Attics, where dreams go to die. Oh, hello, spooky bear. Feels like he's watching me. Everything in here is covered in dust. Except this bear. And there's light coming from behind him. What are you hiding, spooky bear? Smothered by a giant teddy bear. What an end that would have been. Just as I suspected, a hidden staircase.
Jenny was no stranger to the labs at Gumboldt, but she'd never seen anything quite like this. Certainly not inside someone's house.
Hey! What are you doing up here? Susie?
Loved by all, kind to a fault, Jenny's cousin was also the most popular girl in town.
Oh, hi, Jenny. You... You should be in bed resting. What are you doing up here?
I should ask you the same question. What is all this equipment? And why is there a secret elevator running from your room to the attic?
Oh, you must mean my collection of teddy bears.
Don't play dumb with me, Susan Glatz. These bears are hiding nothing. And that one's wearing a welding helmet.
Well, there's a simple explanation for that. There are just too many to fit in my bedroom.
You're sweating like a freshman at prom, Susan. Now answer the question. What are you really doing up here?
It's not what you think. This is where teddy bears. I have vintage bears, new bears, rare collectible bears.
Enough! Stop avoiding the question. You don't need to hide anything. You can be honest with me.
I can't. You wouldn't understand.
Try me.
Susie's secret was the kind you took to the grave. A shameful, dark secret. A secret so shocking she feared she would lose everything. Her friends would abandon her. Her family would disown her. She'd never find true love.
Oh God! I'm going to die alone!
Ugh.
You can't tell anyone. You have to promise me.
Fine, just stop whimpering like a lost puppy. You're embarrassing yourself.
Here goes nothing. This is my secret laboratory. Where I design and test my inventions.
Your laboratory? It's not pink enough to be yours. Come on, Susan, you're gonna have to do better than that.
My name is Susie! Only my mom calls me Susan. And this is my lab.
Let me get this straight. A cheerleading, horse riding, dress wearing debutante is a secret nerd genius? Hilarious.
I knew I shouldn't have told you.
She would never show it, but something about Susie's reaction bothered Jenny. Was Susie really leading a double life?
There's only one way to find out. Susan Quincy Glatz, I'm gonna have to ask you a few questions.